Our philosophy has always been if we can marry something that we know is going to perform well on paper, that feels really good for a player, then you're going to have a winning combo and someone's going to, 9 times out of 10 go out and play that part, even if they're not buying it. You can see that on tour with the success we've had this year. That most tour professionals are trusting Ventus and Fujikura parts when it matters most.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Whole Story Podcast. Robby here. Hope you're doing well. Today we had a great interview with our new friend, Andrew Hoang. I say new friend. He's an old friend because we're friends with a lot of mutual friends. We met him through our buddy Jeff Marsh. It was down at Old Barnwell. They were in town to see the golf there at Sage Valley. Got to meet Andrew. Great guy, and it was a pleasure to have him on the Whole Story Podcast to talk about his life in golf and what he's doing with Fujikura Golf. They make great golf shafts. If you're not familiar with them, he'll tell us more about that in the episode. But I think you guys are really going to like it. As always, we are brought to you by our friends at Summit Golf Brands, Bedrade, Zero Restriction, Fairway, and Green. If you go to any of their websites and use BestBall20, they are kind enough to give you, our listeners, 20% off on all their products. So they make great stuff. We really like wearing them out on the course and meetings and wherever we go. It looks really good. Another thanks to Western Birch, Lewis, and the team there. If you use the code BESTBALL in the shipping cart at westernbirch.com, you can customize any tees. You can get your logo on them, any color pattern that you want on the sides, and they will be sure to take care of you as they have taken care of many of our friends. So many thanks to Western Birch for that. So without any further ado, I'm excited to present this episode of the Whole Story Podcast with our buddy Andrew Hoang. All right, Andrew Hoang, thank you for joining us on the Whole Story Podcast, man. It's a lot of fun to have you on. We were just talking before that we met you at I met you there at Old Barnwell with our mutual friend Jeff Marsh.
Yeah, that was a fun, windy day. I think it was a collegiate event that was happening, and I was out there for Sage Valley, the Junior Invitational, and yeah, it's great to meet you then.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this is fun getting to hear more about your story. Just a really interesting one, and yeah, excited to hear more about it. But one question we ask everybody, I guess, as we jump into this thing is how did you get into golf? Like, what was your first time picking up a club or thinking, man, I kind of like this game?
Yeah, so my dad, I think it was my sister's 9th birthday, so I would have been 7. And for her birthday gift, he wanted to take her out to the range. So we lived close to this range that had lights and you could go out at night. And so we went out at night and I caught the bug so bad. We were on this top deck of a range. And there's a little bit of a ramp, and I'm 7 years old. The clubs are way too big for me. I have a super strong grip, and I'm just trying to jump. No technique, whatever. Just trying to hit the ball as far as I can. And I wanted to so badly get it up in the air over the ramp the entire night, and I couldn't. And I had blisters all over my hands, but I was like, oh my gosh, what is this game? Like, I love it. And so from then on out, that course was about, 10 minutes from our house. It was a 9-hole par 3 course, and it was really cheap. And my dad and I would go play out there all the time from then on. So I was 7 years old, started playing, and I played competitively with junior golf until I was about 12. And then I actually took about like a 10-year break because my dad said, we can play golf. We can play competitive golf as much as you want. As soon as it's not fun anymore, we don't have to play. Which was great, and so I was 12, a moody 12-year-old with golf, and it's already a tough enough sport for adults, and I couldn't handle the competitiveness and not being able to perfect it, and so I was like, I want to go back to playing tennis and take a break.
Your first round of golf sounds like my last round of golf.
Yeah.
Too strong of a grip, got blisters everywhere, have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just swinging as hard as I can. So.
Yep. It actually sounds like my current rounds too.
You've obviously progressed to being a little bit more technical when it comes to the golf and the golf clubs and everything else related. So talk to us about, like, where did that shift happen? When did you come into learning how to change things to make golf better for everybody else?
Yeah, and so just even through high school and college, the joke with all my friends is that I don't have hobbies. My hobby is having hobbies. And so I've always gotten really deep into whatever I get, whether it's photography or cooking or other things that I've gotten into. And golf with the equipment side, that really piqued my interest because you can change so much and you can really get into the weeds. And so when I got back into the game of golf right before COVID, I really got into the equipment side. Now that there was so much adjustability compared to when I was younger, there's just so much more even engineering that goes into the shaft side, the golf ball side. The whole game had just evolved so much. And so I really enjoy the tinkering part of it, whether it's a detriment to my game or not. And so I just love that I can fine tune all of my equipment to needs and conditions, and then I can do that for other players as well, and help them improve their game and make them enjoy the game of golf more. And so that's been really fun for me on a personal side. And then on the professional side of working in the industry, and being able to do that not only for tour players but for juniors and college players that are developing, and seeing their faces change when they hit a drive for the first time that has the right launch and spin, and they realize that's how it's supposed to look. It's really fun for me. I really enjoy it.
Never had that experience.
I know. I'm looking forward to that someday.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like this is how you end up with middle-aged men like me and Robby saying, "Listen, honey, no, it is worth the $3,000 investment.
Yeah,
it's going to
100%.
change everything. It's 4 years senior tour, but I've
Yeah.
got to get these shafts and the clubs." And I literally just found out probably in the last couple months that there are different types of shafts. And all of a sudden it's like 20 to 30 yards of spray just went away because I got stiff
Yep.
shafts. Like,
Yeah.
who knew?
Exactly.
So was Fujikura like your first job in the golf space, or was there other companies prior to?
Yeah, Fuji's my first
Wow.
jump into the golf space.
Okay, very nice. And so you help not only tinker your own game, but you mentioned you get to do it for professionals, junior golfers, things like that. Like, was that the first role within the company, or did you have to work your way up to that part?
Yeah, I kind of worked my way up to that role. That had always been my dream. Watching guys like Trotty do all those videos in the truck, and working with guys like Tiger, Scotty, whoever, and building clubs on the spot to fix a problem, and rolling out to the range and being like, okay, we need more height and spin into these long par fives this week. Here's a brand new 7 that works great. And then all of a sudden you're seeing it on TV. That was super cool for me. And so when I first started at Fuji, I actually started in the product testing side, so bringing consumers in, testing prototypes, working with our product team, our engineering team, to give feedback. But my goal had always been to be on the tour team. But yeah, my first role here was just to bring testers in to test prototype parts that are painted black, and so it's full blind test. They give us full feedback of what they feel. And so our philosophy has always been, if we can marry something that we know is going to perform well on paper, that feels really good for a player, then you're going to have a winning combo, and someone's going to, 9 times out of 10 go out and play that part, even if they're not buying it. You can see that on tour with the success we've had this year. That most tour professionals are trusting Ventus and Fujikura parts when it matters most.
All I hear is, I'm a pro minus the parts. Like, that's it.
Exactly.
It's the only thing
it's
that's
never
missing.
you.
Is
It's
apparently
never you. It's just the equipment.
right.
Yeah.
It's a cart that needs to follow me to every. Listen,
100%.
I know that you duck hooked that last shot. Here's the new club for your next shot that's absolutely going to fix the whole thing. All right, this is great.
Yeah. No, my dad was notorious for buying the next thing that was going to help his game, and it wouldn't really work on the actual swing path. So I feel like even with maybe the right custom fit clubs, there would still be a lot of user error, just for the lack of consistency. But How does, and I'm always curious about this, and maybe you can give a little bit of insight into it. How do you get into the custom fitting space? Like, how do you learn um, the technology side? One, I guess you can read and study it that, this shaft does this one does that. But then how do you take that and tailor it to somebody's swing and kind of marry those things up? Like, what's the learning process for you as you do that?
Yeah, so it started, at least for me, with a lot of, I feel like there's a lot of education now online, a lot of good resources. So TrackMan has a great, they have a great, it's called TrackMan University. They have a great course. Foresight also has a peak certification. And so just understanding ball flight and launch dynamics and what certain things change to cause the ball to do certain things, that was big for me. And then, but the biggest thing for me is actually you just have to be there doing fittings a lot. Because as much as a launch monitor will tell you something, that's only what happens when the golf ball is hit and then going. A lot of fitting is you're watching that swing and you're listening to a player and you have to ask the right questions. And so, and even past experience as well. So just being in a fitting room and fitting a lot of players, watching a lot of golf balls being hit during, my product testing time, that really helped me learn and understand, okay, when I change certain things or when I watch a certain player load a shaft a certain way, I can kind of understand what we need to do to kind of fix a problem or maybe give them like a 1% increase in performance, because sometimes that's all you need. But it's been, some of the guys on our team here, they've been working on our tour team for 18 years and 25 years. And so they're just a vast wealth of knowledge and they have so much experience. And so just asking as many questions as I can, doing as many fittings as I can, trying as many crazy things as I can. And honestly, too, my first couple weeks here, they just said, go in there and hit every part on the wall, hit every head, hit every weight, hit every flex, and then you just watch what happens. Because sometimes, you might have a misconception of like, something super soft is going to go low left, is what people think. For me, anything soft was high right. And so that was a learning experience for me that I realized, it's not, one size fits all for every player. And a lot of it is you just have to put the time in.
I feel like he just sees the Matrix. We just see like green things coming on. He's like, I see blonde, brunette. Like I just see everything immediately. Do you get to that point? And again, you're talking about, I'm sure you compare yourself to folks that have been there for decades, right? But compared to like a regular golfer, if you're out playing around with somebody, do you literally have to go, don't say this because you see it immediately? Right? Like, if I took you out on a round and gave you full permission to fix anything you wanted to see, you'd be like, well, first of all, you're swinging from the wrong side. Maybe you're right-handed because this is terrible. Second of all, like, do you begin seeing those things throughout, whether it's equipment or motion or whatever, that's just like an automatic pairing?
A little bit, yeah. I sometimes have to stop myself when it's, I see a ball. It's like he thinks he hit it well, and I'm like, oh, I can just eye test. I know that's 130 feet in the air and spinning at 4,000. Like that's a pretty good 5-iron. But usually I won't do that unprompted. It's already a tough enough game. I don't want to get in someone's head mid-round.
I just learned about balls can change spin rate. Like I Googled it the other day when I had to go buy balls, and so I showed up with brand new balls to the golf course the other day. I don't know if it changed anything.
Oh yeah, Titleist will do they'll do a golf ball fitting.
Oh my
for
gosh.
People to actually
we
see.
Yeah. That's not going to change
you hit
much.
the line of golf balls and figure out what do you want out of your long game, iron game, short game, and even putting feel. They'll ask you all those kinds of questions.
All of it. I want the long game. I want the short game.
Yeah.
I want putting feel.
Yeah.
Like,
Can you get me one that just goes dead straight 350 yards? I'll take that one.
Right.
I need a golf ball finding, not fitting.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That should be the next technology. There's absolutely a way to put
100%.
some sort of GPS.
Yeah. You got to pay a lot more for that. So you travel around, and I know when I saw you were going to the junior there at Sage.
Mm-hmm.
So what's that like to, and we'll maybe talk a little bit more about the pros here in a second, but what's it like to help young golfers who are really, really good? Like when you went to that event, like, are you sitting there saying, hey, if you want to try something else or if you need some help, let me know?
A lot of these kids nowadays are already so educated, and they really understand uh, that shafts and heads and golf ball, everything can change. The equipment can really change how they play and their ball flight. And so they're very cognizant. And so, I mean, when we were there, the Titleist truck was there, TaylorMade, Callaway, Nike trailer was there too, switching out shoes and spikes for everyone. I mean, it was full service, and on most of these players, they're very in tune already. And so when I'm out there, I'm more just trying to be a familiar face, making sure that hey, if you do need anything, then I'm here. If you have any questions, most of the time though, these days they really understand the product and what each one does in our line, not only on the shaft side but equipment side. I remember Miles Russell was hitting a 3-wood great, and he was like, and he's 16, and he's hitting a 3-wood, he's hitting it perfect, perfect, perfect. He's like, it just sounds it just doesn't sound good. Can we put like 2 grams of hot melt in there to make it sound better? And that's all we did. And then he's striping it, and it's like, yeah, it sounds a lot better. And so they're very in tune with the equipment side, and they're athletes. They're so good these days. It's insane.
I was there at that tournament. We weren't allowed to go on any of those buses. Me and another guy tried.
Yeah.
We're like,
yeah.
maybe it's like a tour. Maybe they're like, you can walk in. That was not it at all.
Yeah.
We saw some
they try
players
to keep
go on,
that.
though,
Yeah.
making the equipment adjustments.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
it's one.
Go ahead,
Go
Robert.
ahead, Jonathan.
Well, I was going to say, like, you're dealing with kids, right? And they know a lot. But then, I mean, we're all golf nuts. So we'll watch, like, the YouTube stuff where DJ will hit a ball, and he's like, oh, that was 172. And, like, they're calling out yardages and things like that. So how do you get to a point where you can even have a conversation with the pros? Because I'm assuming there's going to be a handful of guys that still have no idea what they're doing. They're just grip it and rip it. But the good ones, they know everything, maybe
Yeah.
better than you. So how do you become like the product expert that lets them build that trust that you're going to help them make a good decision?
Yeah, that just comes back to our philosophy as a tour team here at Fuji is we want to be known as not only experts of our own product, but experts of all the OEM products and even our competitor product as well. And so we want to not ever get into a situation where we feel like someone else knows more than us. And so that we can answer any of those questions to be able to build that trust. And so that also comes down to us spending a lot of time in our Enzo studio with our Enzo system. And so our Enzo system is a 10 camera 3D motion, 3D high speed capture system. And it's the same system that's used for 3D animation, like video games. You see guys like they're doing their celebrations in Madden with all those fiducials on them. We use that in the golf shaft side so we can see exactly what a shaft's doing in 3D space at any moment in the golf swing. So whether it's bending, twisting, deflecting, leading, lagging, drooping, drifting, all of it. And we see it at, 2,000 frames per second. And from there, we kind of have a very deep understanding of what certain torque changes, certain bending stiffness changes, what different materials do in different locations. And when we move that all around, we feel like we have a really good understanding of how the shaft impacts the swing and what changes in a design can make that change happen. And so we do pride ourselves here, at least on the tour side, of having a very deep understanding of our product and other product as well, to be able to service, the best players in the world that usually are very well informed as well.
If you ever want to see all those variables at once,
What?
Jonathan and I can come help you
Well,
guys out.
I was just thinking, it sounds exactly like whenever Robbie will like sometimes video me swinging, and then we try to break down what's not working right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah, all the drooping, dragging, dribbling,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
duffing, all those things in one swing.
Yeah, we hit it 6 inches before the golf ball, so that probably doesn't work.
Is that not good?
with a driver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done that before. I've absolutely broke a driver's head because I hit the ground like at least a foot
A
before I was
lot of
supposed
people have done it.
to. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not the first or the last. So
Yeah.
how many different products is there? Like variables products? Like, I mean, I guess there's not a number, or maybe you do know the number. Like, how many different shafts are there?
I mean, there's a lot. At least on our side, we try and keep it very concise so it's not confusing with our coloring system and Ventus, and actually started with Atmos before that. I feel like we want to educate players as well too from our marketing side, and we want to make it easier for fitters as well. So when they go to the wall, they can understand, oh, okay, the red is a higher launching in the family. The blue is going to be a little bit more of our mid low spin, and the black's low low. Um, and so, I mean, there's a lot of levers you can pull, but within our Ventus family, right now we have 6 products. We have our VeloCore Plus line, and then in between those shafts, we have our TR line that has slightly different material that plays a little bit stiffer and kind of slots in between each profile. And then we have our iron shafts as well. We have hybrids. We have wedge shafts, putter shafts. And then for a player, you can get into, on the head side, now you have your standard core head, which is your forgiving bigger head. Then you have the max head, which will be the most forgiving head with the farthest CG back. And then you have your low spin heads with CG forward. You can change those weights. You can change the CGs. And then with everyone's got, like a SureFit or adjustable hosel now, and you can start really dialing it in there. And then even throw in, grips for certain players and start thinking about length. Start thinking about lie angles, loft. I mean, there's really a lot you can do these days to fit a player, and so there's a lot of levers you can pull to change ball flight and find something that works for someone.
There's at least 4 things in that statement that I didn't understand. Like I have.
Here's the question Jonathan wants to ask: is can he put a 9-iron shaft on every one of his clubs?
I wasn't going to go there, but I would like to go there if we're going to go there. Like the single length. So Robbie's alluding to the fact that I created what I call my Dolly Parton. Okay, I had an old. Listen now, this is
oh boy indeed.
I'm just shy of going to get some lead tape because it doesn't quite feel right. So I took
some of that hot metal, maybe.
Right, I took a 5-iron, old 5-iron that I broke, by the way. At some point, I'd snapped off. So I have the head of a 5-iron, but my 9-iron goes well. Like it's a good shot. It's fairly consistent. It doesn't go left or right. So I was like, maybe if I just take the shaft length, which is 36 inches, I think, and I put my 5-iron head on it, will it be okay? So I even matched, like I did an actual experiment on this with 20 shots. So I haven't gone back to do it again, but I took the actual shaft, the grip, everything matches for my 9-iron from Mizuno. The only thing difference is I didn't have a club. I have a Callaway club head. But my swing...
not the only. There's lots of...
No. The shaft is the same shaft. The grip's the same grip. And I only lost like maybe like 3 or 4 yards on distance. And my spread wasn't that much different either. And that was the first time going out. It was a lot lighter, which shocked the heck out of me. Like the 5-iron, I thought that's why I was joking around. Maybe I should go get some lead tape and heavy it up just a little bit to see what would change. So...
Well, and that's what they do with, I think Cobra for a while did have the 1-length irons, right? And so all those heads are the same head weight, because swing weight is a big factor for a lot of players.
Things.
It's kind of
it's
the balance point of the club, right? And so certain players like stuff really heavy or really light. Patrick Reed likes his clubs to be at like C9 or even D0 because he feels like he can accelerate through impact. And then there's guys like DJ that'll probably play their driver at D4, D5, which is on the heavier end of the spectrum, and he just feels like he just feels where the club head is better throughout the entire swing. And so, if you're putting a 5-iron head on a 9-iron shaft, it's going to feel very light because it's weighted to be 5-iron length.
Yeah.
And so now the balance point has shifted, and so you can throw a bunch of lead tape on there to get it up to swing weight.
See, basically what he's saying is I'm starting my own custom club fitting. I mean, it started in someone's garage this way at some point, right? Like somebody started tinkering with something.
100%.
They just knew what they were doing, and I was just asking some random guy. And I even made sure, I went all the way to make sure that even the launch angle was the same. So I had him check the launch angle on I think it's not launch angle, whatever the angle for this thing is.
The actual loft.
The loft, yes. I made sure the loft was the same. And I apologize to anybody that's friends of mine that are sitting there thinking, I can't believe Jonathan has a podcast and knows this little about golf. Because I get that a lot. But
that your custom fitting career might not take off. You got to learn these technical terms first.
Yeah, but I mean that's the big thing I always tell these juniors too that are growing up with TrackMan, they're growing up with quad. When I played junior golf, you hit a shot, you didn't like it, you look down at the divot, and you're like, okay, I can see my path is a little bit this way, and the turf interaction, I can see where the club head exited, and I know what happened there.
Yeah.
A lot of days now, a kid will hit a shot, and they won't even look at it, and they're looking straight at their TrackMan or quad screen, and they're trying to figure out, oh, well, I have to get this has to be 0, this has to be this, and sometimes I just cover the screen and tell them, stop playing TrackMan, stop playing quad, just
play
go
golf.
play golf. Yeah.
Yeah.
The equipment side is there to help you. It's not the end all be all is not the numbers on the TrackMan screen.
Yeah. Well, and your role is helping out these tour players. What
Yeah.
what does your travel schedule look like for that?
Yeah, so it kind of depends year to year. This year it's I'm covering a lot of tours, everything from PGA Tour to Champions LPGA. I'm actually leaving for a junior tournament tomorrow for the junior players, and then I'll go straight from there to the DP World Tour for a couple of weeks, and covering that. And so we have 3 people on our tour team: myself, Marshall Thompson, and then Pat Coy, who's Pat's been our tour director, and he's been on tour for almost 30 years, and then with us for almost 25. And Marshall's been with our company for almost 18 years now, and so we have a lot of experience. But for that, it's a lot of ground to cover for 3 people, and so we jump around as much as possible, and try and figure out what's the best schedule of which events do we really need to go to, where we feel like we can really make an impact.
do you have a hard time seeing the forest through the trees? Because I mean, you basically described most, again, middle-aged men's dream job if there were no family and life and anything else to
Yeah.
do with. But like you, like, oh, I've got to go to like 8 pro tours this year, and meet
Yeah.
up with all these professional golfers and help them
Travel
out. But
travel to Europe and all this other
Yeah.
fun stuff.
Yeah, no,
and the
it
company's
is it
paying
is a
for
lot of
all
fun.
it.
Yeah, I definitely I feel very thankful and blessed that this is something that I get to do, and I feel like I haven't worked a day yet, so
What
it's
was
a
your
lot
thing?
of fun. Yeah.
What was your first pinch me moment? Like when you realized, I can't believe I'm standing right here having this conversation, or at this, with this golfer or whatever. What was that first pinch me moment?
I think it was when I was still in the product testing role, but the tour had come in town for Farmers Insurance down at Torrey Pines. Um, and so I got to go down there, and I think I was just watching Rory hit the ball. And I was like, I'm inside the ropes, like 10 feet away from him, watching him hit golf balls. And our tour director, Pat's going up and having conversation with him, and, hugging him and saying congrats on something, and, asking him, does he need anything? He's like, oh, no, we're all good. And it's just like, they're normal people too. I think you watch them on TV for so long, but that was pretty crazy to me. And that it was really cool.
And you're over on the side saying, Rory, hit this one, it'll help.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, look at that lag. If only
Yeah.
he had hit the
Yeah.
hard instead of soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping you take your clubs wherever you go.
Yeah. Yeah. I try to.
Yeah. Do you have time to get out and play some?
Yeah, I sometimes do. I'll come out maybe like early. So this next trip to Ireland, I'm getting in a couple days early and gonna see if I can sneak out on a couple of tracks around the Dublin area. Just because links golf is special, and when you're over there, I feel like it's almost a sin not to be able to bring clubs and play. It's almost
Yeah.
tantalizing.
Yeah, you're in the wrong business if you don't enjoy something like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
there's got to be perks for it, right? Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
100%.
Do you have an old set of persimmon? Do you ever go retro and decide to bring something
So-
like that along?
I haven't yet, but I've thought about it a lot because one of the guys at Goat Hill was actually
Trevor?
asking me. No, Will Crop,
Oh yeah,
and he plays with persimmons from time to time because I do a lot of events like that up there. He was actually asking me about if it's possible to put a modern graphite shaft into a persimmon head, and it is. I was like, I don't know how to whip the ferrule. You know how they did it in the past, and Pat actually did that. 25,
Yeah.
30 years ago, so he knows how to do it. But I've thought about getting some persimmons and playing our local muni. I just feel like it'd be a lot of fun.
yeah. Well, Trevor Larson's right there. We just talked to him.
Yeah.
With Power Belt and Larson Golf Company, and he was Like when we talked to him that day, he was doing a bunch of whipping on some of those clubs. So
That's so cool.
yeah, kind of neat. Well, yeah, man, I could keep asking questions. This is
Yeah, go for
it's
it.
very
Fire away.
very fascinating, and very interesting. One, because it's like, man, I need I really, Jonathan, this is another one where you walk away, you're like, I really need to get custom fit for the real stuff.
Yeah,
I just got
100%.
a
I
new
mean,
shaft on a mini
every
driver.
player
Yeah.
every player has a different swing and they load it differently. Um, and each club is different too, right? And you have different uses for each one. And so when you don't have the right equipment, you're fighting against the equipment. If you're trying to fit into something off the wall, it's very rare that you kind of fall into that bucket. Um, because those are usually just catch-all, at least the stock shafts. Um, the shafts that we sell in the aftermarket utilize premium materials, but obviously there's a lot of research behind it. And we understand why we put those materials in certain areas and why we use those materials to achieve certain performance gains. Um, and the big thing that I say too is that Fuji, we're small. We have about 30 employees, but most of us play golf, and we're all golf junkies and golf nerds. And so we have skin in the game when we're designing something because we're gonna play it, right? I want it to work well because I'm gonna play it at some point, and obviously I want to get it on tour and it needs to perform really well, and we need it to sell and whatnot. But personally, I want it to perform well because all the people in the office are going to play it as well, and we want to have something that we're proud to sell and proud to give players on tour.
So is that sort of like a build your own bag every Friday where you just like, hey, I'm gonna go through the office and we're gonna pick this shaft and this thing and then that's what you get to play with, or have you kind of settled on this really does suit my game well, and I know this particular type of shaft isn't going to work for me?
Yeah, so at the beginning, I did do some tinkering for a while, and there's definitely some learning. And we just hired someone to kind of take over my old product testing role in January. And he's a total golf junkie and gear nerd as well. And so he's slowly learned too. And I'll tell him like, hey, like you're playing really well, don't change it. And he's like, oh well, I just want to try it. And then he'll try it, and then inevitably he's like, yeah, you're right. I got to go back to the gamers. Um, and so a lot of the guys, at least that are pretty serious and play at a high level, will try and set the bag, and have they're usually playing in the same profile. Maybe we'll just change a couple OEM heads here and there. Um, but for the most part, yeah, we'll try and set the bag. And I don't know. I think next year I might have a challenge for some of the guys in the office of okay, set the bag challenge. Once it hits this point in the year, no more changing. We've tested everything at this point. We can't just be like, well, I think if I just tried this and had this shaft and that head, but it's a lower spinning head, so I'm going to get a higher spinning shaft, and it's just a mess. But it's fun.
Stop using all our product. We're trying to sell this
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, exactly.
I
But it,
get
it is a lot of fun. You got to take it out and you got to try it yourself and play it on course to fully understand, how our products work.
What kind of input do the actual club manufacturers have towards you guys? Do they ask for stuff, saying, "Hey, we've got, Titleist, for example"? You mentioned them. They say, "Hey, we've got this new line coming out. We think it will work well with this kind of shaft," or how does that work?
A lot of times we try and be pretty proactive about asking our not only our the OEM side for our customers, but on the custom fitting side, so your true specs, your club champions, your cool clubs. We try and ask them, hey, now that maybe the year's over, we're going to ask them, how do you feel like our product line is? Do you feel confused? Do you feel like there's a gap? Is there something that really worked? Is there something that didn't work? And for the most part, we get really good feedback from a lot of the OEMs and from our club fitters who are, every single day they're working with players or they're working with clients and consumers. Um, and they'll give us really good feedback. And so part of the feedback was, for a while we didn't have something Ventus in the 40 gram line, the ultra light kind of space. And so we took that consumer feedback and we created Ventus White from it. We honestly didn't know how well it was going to do. It was kind of a new space for us in the 40 gram realm. And we immediately were back ordered on all the products we brought in because the demand was so high to have a really high performance part at a lighter weight. And so we take feedback from not only OEMs, but our club fitters very seriously, because they're the ones out on the course and fitting people every single day.
Well, on your website, and I want to make sure this is right. It's Making Major History 2025 Major Championship Sweep. So at some point, don't you guys just start like brushing your own shoulders off? Be like, can't tell us a thing. Like we dominated this year. What do you need from us next?
I know we're very grateful. It's been an amazing historic year, and we also tacked on the players. And I was really greedy, and I wanted the tour championship, and so we were stoked because Tommy won with Ventus TR Blue in his bag yesterday, and I thought I was going to throw up a couple times watching. I wanted him to win so bad. But for us, it's just. The minute we stop learning, the minute we stop innovating, the minute we stop and we just rest on our laurels and say, hey, we did a good job, we can kind of just coast. I think we're toast. And so we want to continue to innovate and learn as much as possible because we feel like with Enzo, we've really only just scratched the surface of what we can do in the composite space and with shafts. Even with the golf ball rollback coming and limitations to club head sizes and speeds these days, the only limit you really have on a shaft is length. And so we feel like the sky's the limit and we can really, really push anything we want. And now that we feel like we have, a good lead on our competitors and we have a really good understanding of what we're kind of doing, it's a good time for us to kind of continue to push even harder to try crazier things now that we feel like our backs aren't against a wall. And so we're very, very cognizant that we can continue to innovate even more, even though we really don't know what else you can win this year. I don't know, maybe the Ryder Cup, have a player use I don't know. That's what we're talking about.
There'll be a number of players using your stuff at the Ryder Cup.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
taking the success you've had this year, do you remember kind of one example of like helping a player make a change into your product and seeing an immediate result? Like, is there something that comes to mind, like a maybe a personal success story of like try this and then you saw great results?
Oh gosh, I have to think. It's
So many
There's
wins.
still a chance, Jonathan.
So many
There's still a
people.
chance.
It's already been a crazy year. I know for at least for Tommy Fleetwood at the beginning of the year, a lot of the driver heads these days have gotten so low spin, and our Ventus Red profile is a little bit higher spinning, at least in the Ventus line, which is a very low spinning line already to begin with. So in reality, it's not a high spin shaft; it's more of a mid spin shaft. And Tommy was able to control the ball a lot better and hit his, nice little pat and draw because he had a good amount of spin and he could play a head that was still the profile that he liked, and he didn't have to go to a head that had a farther CG in the back. And so that was really cool. And then, midway through the season, he made some adjustments and now he's playing TR to kind of bring that spin back down. I'm trying to think of other players where we've had cool. I mean, JJ Spawn, he was one of the first guys that jumped into our new VeloCore Plus Blue when we launched in January of this year.
He's had a pretty good year.
Yeah, exactly. He started picking up a little speed and he was getting a little bit too much spin. And so midway through the year, he was like, he came to our team and they put him into Black Plus. So it's a little bit of a stouter profile on the handle and it's going to launch a little bit lower, spin a little bit less. And then at the U.S. Open, obviously he drove it great, and that tee shot on 17 and 18, but especially the one on 17 was just, we were so excited about that, just to see someone, from the ground here, us developing that part and wanting more control and more speed out of a product that was already so tight dispersion-wise and so fast, to see it perform at the highest level when it really mattered the most. And he put it away on 17 and 18. And so that was really cool.
And then your putting tips that you gave him, those
Right.
work too.
Oh yeah, that was personally from me.
Yes.
Yeah. See,
That's really cool.
the thing is, the greens go from front to back. That's like once you nail that, you're going to be solid.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I do have a little bit of a fear that if I ever did get custom fitting, then it could turn out that I'm just bad at golf. Like that's my only real concern. What happens if I actually get all the stuff figured out that's supposed to be figured out, and then you're like, oh, it turns out you're still not good.
Jonathan,
Like,
if you're that bad, the custom fitter will probably be like, "Hey man, I have nothing for
Right,
you.
yeah, I'd be like, no,
go get lessons."
I've had some lessons. We don't want. Oh man.
Yeah. Well, very nice. Well, as we start to wrap up, I know you've got a hard stop. What one question we ask everybody: what is your most memorable golf shot?
Most memorable golf shot. It's probably I played in the father-son tournament with my dad at St. Andrews at the old course.
Nice.
And this event was unbelievable. And if you have a dad that plays golf, that's able to play golf, I highly recommend this experience. I mean, we played the new course, we played Kingsbarns, Carnoustie, and then the old course. We stayed at the old course hotel. One of the nights you dress up in full Scottish kilt. They do the haggis ceremony, everything. It's amazing. But it was a tournament, and so I hit an amazing drive over the hotel. It was and I was like, okay, step one. That was good. We didn't hit the hotel. And my sister and my mom's room was actually like right there in the corner, so they were watching us. I was like, oh god, I hope I don't hit them. And then I was just a little bit amped up, and I hit my approach shot over the green onto the road. But because it was a tournament and a local rule, I don't get any relief from that. And so now, that course is right in the center of town. There's people just walking around. They have their dogs out. They're going shopping and whatnot. And so they all stop and they're watching me. I have to pick a wedge off the road itself onto this green. I'm like, okay, I can't blade it into someone. I'm still in the tournament setting. And my mom and sister had come down. They're watching. My dad's right there as well. And so I was actually able to pick the ball pretty cleanly onto the green for a look at par. And, of course, I missed it.
That's really cool.
That was probably one of my most memorable shots. And then right after that, being able to walk across the Swilken Bridge with my dad and take a bunch of pictures, that was really cool.
That's a good day.
Yeah.
All about who you play with, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Man, that's a good story. Picking it clean. That's nice.
Yeah.
Jonathan putted off the road. So.
I did.
Did you really?
Yeah, I didn't hit the hotel, and then I hit it over the green. No, I hit it short of the green, then I putted over the green.
He putted it over the green.
Yeah, then I putted back over the green. And then finally, I think it was my only triple for the day. That was a good day.
It's a tough hole. I think it's one of the best holes in all of golf anywhere. It's so good.
It was a lot of fun. Well, another thing we like to do is what we call a quick nine. So just a little back and forth. And the first answer might be the one we just talked about. What is the favorite course that you've ever played?
Oh gosh, that's so tough.
He's played so many good courses.
Such a long list.
I've been very fortunate to play a lot of good courses.
Yeah.
I have to say Chicago Golf Club is probably number one for me.
Oh wow.
And I'm a bit of an architecture nerd too, so that one's pretty high on my list. The two pretty close to that are probably Palmetto and Aiken, and then Pasatiempo is honestly, I think, just one of the best tracks in the world, and it's public. I think if anyone if you're able to get there and play it, I highly recommend anyone to go play. I haven't played it since the redo, and I really want to. But that place is special.
I got to figure out how to get on Palmetto if it's that good and just around the corner.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is, and the hang is so good. It's a special spot for sure.
I think it's some of the toughest greens I've ever played.
Oh,
because if you miss, it's nearly impossible to get up and down.
Oh yeah, I've had multiple friends that have walked away from that course with the chipping yips, just because of that course.
Yeah, if you didn't have them already, you're getting them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, you listed a couple that are on our bucket list: Paso Tiempo in Chicago, and then Palmetto for Jonathan. What course is at the top of your bucket list?
Fisher's Island is pretty high on my bucket list. Cyprus, um, Tara ET down in New Zealand,
Yeah.
is in just it just looks incredible down there. Um, Royal County Down, I hear, is amazing. Old Head, Ballybunion. Um, Gosh, yeah, I could probably go on and on. There's so many. There's
You
just
have a
so
big
much good
bucket
golf.
like we
Right,
do.
right.
Yeah, yeah, like a lot of us golf nuts do. Yeah,
Yeah.
any pretty much any course on Long Island probably would be on the bucket list.
Yeah.
What's the top of your bucket list course? 15 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. What's the top 100? Yeah, probably the top 50.
Yeah.
Yep.
What is the best course that you come across that no one knows about?
Oh man, the three that come to mind are Northwood, up in Santa Rosa. It's an old Alistair Mackenzie. It's 9 holes. In the redwoods. It's just an unbelievable experience, and I think it was like $27. My family and I played it on Thanksgiving Day before going to Napa Valley for the week, and we just had the best time walking together. And the sound the golf ball makes in there is incredible. But you can see kind of the architectural bones of it is amazing, and the community is great. The pro shop is obviously not super glitzy or glamorous. And you can really feel like it's very authentic golf. The Charleston Municipal is another really cool spot, very Seth Rayner inspired. And I think I paid $17 to walk the back nine, and I played with a bunch of Clemson club players. And we just had a blast at sunset, and it was sweltering hot. It was just unbearable, but we had such a good time. And then locally around here, I think the San Clemente Muni, and it's a little hometown pride for me. I think is one of the best tracks and best values anywhere. As a resident, I play it for $33 walking, even on a Saturday morning. And it's very relaxed. You can play in t-shirt, shorts, flip-flops. You'll usually find me playing in flip-flops. And so it just makes the game feel a lot more approachable. I think golf is already a very scary, expensive sport. And when you can find somewhere that makes it easier to get into and relaxed, it's a lot more appealing to newcomers.
Sounds like we got a place to play when we come visit.
Yeah, 100%.
Sounds like I need to start wearing flip flops instead of these darn
100%.
shoes.
Yep. All right. Who's in your dream foursome?
Oh, dream foursome would be myself, my dad. Ooh, my computer might die here. Myself and my dad. Tiger, I feel like you got to throw him in there. I don't know who the fourth would be.
Just the random walk up.
I don't know. Yeah, sometimes those are the best people, and they're a lot of fun. Honestly, someone like Michael Pena, who is a avid golfer, but he's got to be a great time on the golf course.
It'd be fun.
I feel like that would be a fun mix. But my dad is like my best friend, and we travel around a lot and play golf anywhere, and he's a lock in there for sure.
I love it.
It's good. All right. What is your walk-up song to the first tee?
Walk-up song on the first tee. This is a great question. It depends on the mood I'm in. I feel like I don't know. I could go so many ways with this. If I'm trying to just destroy a golf ball, that intro to a little like AC/DC, some Sandman,
Yeah.
that'll get me going.
Love
I'll
it.
stick with that.
Yeah. All right. Favorite club in the bag?
Seven wood.
Seven.
Love it.
Sevenwood. I keep
Yeah.
hearing
Oh,
about
yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's so easy, and sometimes I'll have it'll be the club would probably go 30 yards too long, and I'll find an excuse to hit it. It's so much fun, and it's easy to hit.
I
So
thought
I'd
for a
recommend anyone
second.
to try that out.
I thought for a second you're going to go like NASCAR on us. Oh, I like my Ventus Blue 73 HCTR with but just Sevenwood.
Just the
They,
7 wood. Yeah.
they say it's that rescue club. I don't even know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my emotional support 7 wood.
That's great. All right. What is your favorite snack on the course?
It would have to be a strawberry uncrustable.
Ooh, strawberry. All right.
Nice.
Yep.
All right. Favorite golf course logo?
Sleepy Hollow.
Ah,
I feel like that's a good one.
it's a popular
That's a
one
good
for
one.
sure. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Last question. Finish this sentence. The best part of golf is.
For me, it's got to be the community, the people, the stories that you meet along the way. Um, and even for myself, it's just the time I get to spend with my dad and my family. Um, we've really had an amazing relationship because we share this bond over this game that we both play. And it's taken us to amazing places all around the world that we never would have been to if we didn't play the game of golf. It's experiencing things like, St. Andrews, to me sleeping in the back of a car to get a tea time at Bethpage Black. And I just feel like it's an amazing game that you meet so many people along the way with amazing stories. Um, yeah.
Very nice. Well, the game has allowed us to meet you, so
Right.
we are also very thankful for this game of golf. So, tell us real quick as we close, how can people find Fujikura, and just how can they learn more about it?
Yeah, so our website, fujikuragolf.com, very informative. We have a lot of educational material on there. And then you can always call our office and ask for me. There's a decent chance that I won't be here in the office. But I think my email's on the website. And then if you want to get custom fit, then you can go to our dealer locator on our website and find someone near you, who is very well trained and educated in our parts as well. And they'll be able to get you dialed in for your game and maybe hit some farther drives and get some lower scores.
That's
That's
always that's a good
Yeah.
plan.
Sounds like
Yeah.
a really good plan.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. Well, Andrew, thank you so much for taking the time to join us, telling your story, telling us more about what you do. It's been an honor to have you on the Whole Story podcast.
I appreciate you guys having me.
All right. Well, for Jonathan and Andrew, this is Robby. You guys have been listening to another episode of the Whole Story podcast.